Well, hello there, Tankers of the Blitz universe. I'm Flossie, and this is the Konzept 1, question mark? I'm still a little confused as to how to pronounce this thing's name, so, yeah, don't butcher me for butchering its name too much in the comments. Anyways, this tank is brand new, it is a tier 9 medium, and it is currently available in, of course, crates. More gambling for all of you fellow gamblers out there. Yeah, so in today's video, I will be kind of breaking into the tank's stats, going over it in 3 live battles here, and really just showcasing to you what this tank is capable of and what it is not capable of. And at the end of the video, I will give my final opinions, obviously, on whether you should gamble your hard-earned money and gold on this vehicle or not. Now, taking a look at its stats, this is a vehicle that I personally compare very closely to the E50 here at tier 9, and in a lot of ways, this is actually a worse E50, but I'll get into that in a little bit. So, in terms of its gun, its alpha damage is 360 on its standard, 300 on the heat, and 450 on the HE, so it does have 10 more alpha damage than the E50. You do have 8 degrees of gun depression, which is very good. It makes this tank very flexible. Your penetration is actually slightly better than the E50's, especially on the heat pen. You do have 248 standard pen, 322 heat pen, and 67 HE. So the E50 only has a PCR premium that has about 300 millimeters of pen, and you have 322 heat on this. So your premium pen is a little bit higher on this tank. In terms of its accuracy, it's not bad. It has an aim time of 2.9 seconds and a dispersion of 0.326. And its overall DPM is 2434. But if we move over to the E50 here, the DPM is actually about 200, if not more. Yeah, more. It's actually like 400 higher. Its DPM is 2800 with the Top Gun here. And its dispersion, although slightly worse, is not honestly that much worse. And let's take a look at the mobility on this tank. So this tank does, in fact, go 55 forward, which is quite nice, and 20 in reverse, which is also very nice, with a decent power to weight of 23.4. And if we take a look at the E50M, or not E50M, I keep calling it that, but it's the tier 9 E50, this tank is actually faster, but it does have a worse power to weight. So it does have a higher top speed, but again, worse power to weight. So overall, this tank will feel a little bit faster in game, but yeah. Now, let's get into our 3 live battles, and I will talk about the armor profile, although very quickly. This tank does not have much armor, and it is very apparent, especially when you're coming up against tier 10 players. Yeah, the armor profile, even against tier 8s, is going to be not that strong. The turret's like 230. Even if you're using gun depression, you're going to be able to get penned in the turret. You have a big old hatch on top as well that can get penned. The upper plate is a bit troll, I will say, but it's nothing crazy, and you do have a big lower plate that can be shot at quite easily as well. So yeah, do not rely on the armor on this vehicle at all. The E50 does have a stronger armor profile overall compared to this vehicle. So keep that in mind when, of course, you are fighting other mediums on the battlefield. You do need to be more careful in this tank. So, game number 1, we are on Hellas, and I know I got butchered in the comments for how I pronounce this map's name, but I really just, I'm too white, bro. I don't know what else to say. Anyways, I'm going to make my way up to this TD area here because, of course, I'm just trying to spot out initially what their team's going to be doing. You can see the AMX over there does get spotted. However, my team is not playing on medium side whatsoever. So until I know exactly where their team's going to be going, I'm going to have to play very careful because, of course, I don't really have team support. My Centurion's AFK. Very cool stuff there. And I really don't want to get caught out like on my own in this sort of tank here because, of course, 2400 DPM is nothing special at tier 9, and you really, once you get caught out in this thing, your reload is just too long to really deal with any other mediums that you're going to be facing at this tier, or especially tier 10 mediums. So you really just have to be careful with this thing. I am going to actually push up a little bit more aggressive though, seeing as it doesn't look like any of their teammates are actually over here. So I should be pretty safe to sit up here and, oh, hello. What's up there? What's up there, AMX-30? I'm gonna get a shot into his turret there. That was a lovely shot. The thing with having high alpha, though, is it's nice to be able to out-trade players like this AMX-30. So at least you have that going for you. Also, the turret design is so weird. Look at it. It, like, rotates in the hull. Isn't that strange? Like, why in the world? I mean, I don't know what else to say. Somehow we do bounce the AMX-30 side, though, which is very unfortunate. And we do have a Yag Tiger on our side now, who I'm kind of hoping I can maybe get shots into from here. I don't know. We'll see. I'm also a little bit nervous now because, of course, if that AMX rushes me and the Yag Tiger looks at me, then I'm kind of screwed, but he doesn't seem to be. So let's get a shell into his rear there. You can see nice alpha damage once again helping me out there, getting some decent rolls into the Yag Tiger. So I am, of course, going to keep firing at him. We'll load our, or pop our adrenaline here to help out our Centurion, who has, in fact, woken up, which is excellent news for me. So let's shoot this guy once more. The Centurion should be able to finish him off. And I'm expecting the AMX to kind of just YOLO over this hill in about 5 seconds here, because, of course, he's probably thinking I've just gone away. Oh, never mind, he's running away. Interesting play there. Well, I'm going to chase him down. We're going to use our decent mobility to try to catch up to him, although that tank also has pretty good mobility, so I don't know if we're going to gain too much ground on him, honestly, but let's see here. I'm going to make a pretty aggressive play now. So basically what I'm trying to do is now at this point, I'm trying to get around behind their heavy tanks that are all stuck in mid here. I want to get rid of this medium tank as fast as I can, because of course, once you have the enemy mediums out of the game, it is going to be much easier to deal with the rest of their team here. So let's load an HE, and nice one, 393 there. Again, having good alpha, it really does help, but honestly, only having 10 more than the E50 is not, like, I don't know if it's really enough to make this tank any, like, better than the E50, if that's how I'm going to word it. So, yeah, I don't know. Let's see, though. Let's get a shell into this guy here. Again, I mean, my rolls have been okay. That was a little bit of a low roll, but, yeah, I'll take it. Obviously, the Shark is in front of us. Centurion's face-hugging him, so I'm actually surprised he got the pen out there. But all that's left is this WZ, so let's jump right on down. Hello, WZ. What's up, bro? He's obviously going to pen me, but we do pick up the kill, and that brings us over 3,000 damage with 3 kills. So, a pretty solid first game. This tank obviously is going to do better against tier 8s than the tier 10s. Just makes sense. But yeah, so we did well this first game here. And I'm pretty sure we got top on the team as well. Yeah. Okay. So there we go. You can see overall, like, how you want to play this tank. You want to play it super passive. Bro, we got a sandbox container. Ain't no way I'm opening that on this video. But, yeah, let's get into game number 2 and see if we can keep up the win streak as per usual. So, I do like the look of this tank, I will say. I think it's a really unique looking vehicle. But for me, looks is not going to save this thing and make me want to buy it. I just think this tank is very boring, even because I did test this vehicle, and I mean, yeah, it's just a boring tank to play. So, like, because I have played battles in it before, so this isn't really my first round of battles being played in this thing. So, yeah, from my experience playing this thing, it is very boring, and honestly, an E50 will be basically the same kind of play style, if not more fun, because you do have more armor, so you can kind of bully more people in that tank than this. So, honestly, that's sort of my initial impressions of how this tank plays after playing it for like 30 games. And honestly, there's just so many other good medium tanks at tier 9 out there that, although this is like a new shiny tank, and it's like a cool looking vehicle, I don't really think I'm going to recommend anyone buy this thing, especially because it's in crates. If you really do like the look of this tank and you do want to pick it up, maybe wait for something like the Christmas auction, or see if this thing comes out during that Christmas time event for a cheaper price, because crates are super expensive. Like, no one's going to deny that. All crates are really expensive, especially when a tank first gets released. So I honestly would just recommend staying away from this one at pretty much at all costs, because it's nothing special. It's definitely not overpowered at all. And yeah, you're really just going to get kind of bored of it very quickly. Wow, that guy got nuked, bruh. Amazing player. So yeah, that's sort of what I'm going to say right there. But anyways, obviously we're on Mayan Ruins for our second battle. And yeah, it seems like a lot of their team is just kind of playing a bit weird. Like, I don't know why they're kind of splitting up. And I don't know, man. Obviously, if you don't load premium shells in a tier 8 tank, you're gonna struggle to pen this thing. I don't know how that bounced his gray turret cheek there, or whatever, his superstructure, but oh well. At least we get that pen out, and honestly, their team is just falling apart so much that I am just going to push in and see if I can get a on-the-move shot into him. Unfortunate. Oh well. Wow, their team is just not doing well. I'm not gonna lie. This enemy team is pretty awful. But let's keep farming him out. Let's see what we can do in terms of damage this battle. Hopefully it's not going to be too sad. We're at 1,300 damage so far, but there's only 3 tanks left, really. So, yeah, this is not going to be a good game for damage. I don't even know what else to say. KV Jr. is getting pissed off. Whoa, imagine that. Driving the KV Jr. and not enjoying yourself. What a shocker. Anyways, let's get a shell into the Death Star. Now I'm going to take my attention away from that player, and I'm going to change it, and I'm going to start shooting at this T-34. Maybe we can get, yeah, at least one nice shell into his tank before he does die. And the KV Jr. is all that's left, so, I mean, bro is full health, so hopefully I can get at least 2 shells into him before he does die. Maybe, unless this T-77 and 7.52 just nuke him before I can. At least we get 1 shell, and maybe I can, like, ram him for a bit. 100 damage, not bad. And let's see, in 2 more seconds, I should be able to get another shell out. There we go, 309 damage dealt, and he gets ammo racked for the kill. Interesting. So there we go. Game number 2 is also just a steamroll. Nothing really crazy in terms of showcasing this tank's abilities, per se. Like, we did 3,200 damage, but I mean, we didn't get focused out too much. In a game where you do get focused out, this tank will fall apart really quickly. Obviously, you're a medium tank. You don't have crazy amounts of HP to really deal with multiple enemies shooting at you at once. So you're really reliant on playing with your team. As you can see there, I've stuck with my team every single battle thus far. And yeah, that's the sort of play style. Again, you have to play it very, very passive if you want to do well in it. Especially because your DPM isn't the best, like I said. So, let's wait for Wargaming to load me into my 3rd and final battle here. And we'll see what we can accomplish in this battle here. And finally, wow, that took a whole 49 seconds. Interesting. Okay, well, sorry for my throat. We're on Desert Sands for our 3rd and final battle here. And up against us in terms of tier 9s, we only have a Conqueror and K91. So with that out of the way, looking at their lineup, guys, I am noticing that they have a lot of heavy tanks and a lot of tank destroyers. What does that mean for me? It means I'm going to go medium side. This sort of battle situation where I am like one of the only medium tanks on both teams means I'm going to take complete and utter advantage of that, and I'm going to try to flank into their spawn after I cap base A. To try to counter their tank destroyers and basically make it so the tank destroyers on their team can't shoot at my heavy tanks. We'll see what happens, though. It looks like my tank destroyers are actually going kind of towards A side, which is interesting. And I do have to be careful, because technically their whole team could go this way if they felt like it. So if that's the case, then I'm going to be very, very dead very quickly. But it doesn't look like that's the case. They do actually have a Panther, too, I just noticed, but doesn't really matter. It's a tier A medium. Like, what's he gonna do against me? So yeah, I'm gonna put myself in a spot where I can maybe shoot this guy once he pulls over. There we go. 296. That was an awful roll. Holy cow. But it doesn't really matter. This guy is cooked either way. His turret armor is not really gonna work either against this sort of vehicle, so I don't know what he's doing, but he's basically got himself into a death pit right here. So let's get another shell into him. He actually does pen me. You can see armor on this tank is not reliable at all. Oh my god, why is there K91 here? What in the world am I looking at? Oh boy. Well, this guy's pretty clueless, I'm not gonna lie. I don't know what else to say about that, so I'm gonna go for this Panther, basically get him out of the game, because of course I want to just deal with one tank at a time here. So yeah, K91 does shoot me once. He's probably gonna shoot me again, if I had to guess. But honestly, I'm not too worried about that. Let's see here. Hopefully, I can, like, bounce a shell from this player here. I don't know. Let's see what he does. Bro is very bad at the game, though. So, if I lose to this guy, I don't know what to say, really. Let's see. He does pen me 3 times. This is going to be a big problem, though, because I, of course, don't have much DPM to deal with him. So, yeah, I really, honestly, I'm going to use this Panther 2 to kind of, well, almost get around him and basically use him as cover. Because, again, I don't have the DPM to outright deal with this guy. So, if he shoots me twice, I am dead. So, I need to make sure that I have cover from this guy, using the tank, again, to my advantage in terms of cover here. So, of course, I do that. He does bounce me, which is unfortunate for him. But I do pick up the kill on him. So, I mean, again, you can see, like, even against a K91, which is literally a heavy tank, this thing's DPM suffers. 2400 DPM. I can't get over how bad the DPM is on this thing. So, like, yeah, you have good alpha, but for a tank like this, where you almost have to brawl other tanks some of the time, it's just not. It's just not it. It really isn't. 392 roll, though. That's good. Showing it off, again, the nice alpha. Bro, someone else is getting Amarak, too. That's crazy. Interesting. Come on. Yes, let me get that high roll in. There we go. Now we're talking. Almost 4,000 damage dealt. And maybe I can get another shell out in 2 seconds. Nice. All right. So that was a good game. Even though we had to brawl 2 vehicles, we were able to win. Obviously, they weren't great players, but you can still kind of see how this vehicle works and how useless the armor is. But we still dealt 4,300 damage with that third and final game, and we did, in fact, ace the thing. So that's very good there. So yeah, overall, as I said in the second battle, I do not think this tank is worth the money, especially because it's in crates, and because it's literally just, in my opinion, a worse version of the E50. So if you want a tank with this sort of playstyle, get the E50 in the tech tree anyways. And it's a good tank to get because, of course, the E50M is going to be one of the most broken medium tanks in the entire game next update. So it's honestly good that this tank came out because now it'll maybe get you to play the tier 9 more and kind of experience that gameplay a little bit. So anyways, for any of you out there who are not yet subscribed to my channel, I highly recommend you do so, as it's a fantastic way to support my content and stay up to date when I post videos almost daily. And with that, I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.